YouTube, is Rico, man. Back with another video. Y'all see what we got going on, man. We got the shocking truth behind Whoopty CJ's gang affiliations. Now this is a brand new video that I came across pretty much on the recommended tab. So without further ado, man, y'all know what time it is. If you're brand new to the channel or you've been watching videos on the channel but for some reason not subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button right now, man. Okay, we on the ground to 5K. Other than that, also don't forget to tell your friends and family about us and tell them to do the same as well if they enjoy this type of content. Help us pretty much get to the 5K. And after that, y'all will also need to leave a like and comment on the video to help this video get recommended to a larger audience of people and hopefully bring in new supporters to the channel, man, because y'all know we on the grind. But other than that, man, we finna officially go ahead and get this video starting with the screen record. That started. We finna start this video now.
However, last year, a dairy-devouring driller by the name of CJ burst onto the scene, entertaining millions with his banger of a... As a humble Brit, the last rapper that I remember being addicted to blue cheese was Lord Bluntington of the Stilton Squad. However, last year, a dairy-devouring driller by the name of CJ burst onto the scene, entertaining millions with his banger of a track, Whoopty. Thing is, if you're a suspicious drill fan like me, you probably heard the track Whoopty and had a whole bunch of questions. Where did this guy come from? Is that Anwell AA's little brother? And who for the love of God is responsible for those sideburns?
Mattingly, get rid of those sideburns.
What sideburns?
You heard me, hippie.
But really though, one of the biggest questions surrounding this mysterious New York driller is exactly what gang is he drilling for? And after Googling this and being informed his gang is apparently the Grove Street families, I only have more questions. However, after looking a little deeper into things, it's soon begun to appear that our old pal CJ from Whoopty might be as real of a gangster as CJ from San Andreas.
He funny as hell for these searches that he did, man, because he literally found pretty much just by typing CJ gang is pretty much gonna go back to San Andreas and stuff like that. So that means CJ gotta basically build his name up on all platforms and stuff, and then pretty much they're gonna have to update like CJ in general on the social media and stuff like that. Like, well, not social media, but as far as Google and stuff, whoever looks him up, because if San Andreas is still getting pulled for basically anything that people type with your initials, pretty much CJ or whatever the case is, then that's all they find. Then I mean, you got a lot of work to do. But I feel like pretty soon they're gonna update it to where people can actually type in that same exact question, but they'll actually pull the information about the rapper. But we gonna see though, man, because San Andreas CJ, man, he got a lot of popularity and stuff, man. And y'all see why Google pulled him up for the first pretty much resource to find the answer to that question. But it is what it is though, man. Let's continue on with this video.
In fact, ever since he blew up, a lot of people have been pointing to CJ the rapper, saying that he's a fake gangster, an industry plant, and some have even suggested he is the new 6ix9ine.
Oh, shit.
I ain't gonna lie too, man, because he definitely came out of nowhere to me, to be honest, because that's pretty much the song that basically caught my first like knowledge of him, giving me my first knowledge of who he is and stuff. Because then I also seen later on throughout YouTube, it's like videos out here basically claiming that he's a fake blood or whatever the case is and stuff, and it's a lot of people that's supposedly on to his head that's from the actual blood gangs in New York and stuff. So I don't know what's the real and what's the fake, man, but at the end of the day, man, if it comes back that he really is fake gang banging, man, it's gonna definitely do something to his career. And then on top of that, like I said, if it's true that actual bloods in New York and stuff is looking for him and stuff and trying to get up with him because he's being a fake pretty much at the end of the day, then that's also gonna be a big hit to his career as well. So we gonna see though, man, because I low-key, like I said, been seeing a lot of information about him supposedly being a fake gang banger and all this stuff. So I don't know what it is, but we gonna figure it out sooner or later what's really going on. But let's continue on.
Here we go again.
Yes, with that questionable red rack around his neck, no discernible gang affiliations to speak of, and a whole line of real New York G's lining up to call out CJ for being a fake, then it's no surprise that people are looking at this Hispanic heartthrob as the next Takeshi 6ix9ine. So today, people, let's have a closer look at CJ's affiliations in the music, in the industry, and in the streets, to try and work out once and for all if Mr. Whoopty is really a gangster bringing them gats out, or if things on his side are really just a movie, in this case a daytime TV remake of the Treyway story. People, today is the day we find out the truth about CJ's gang affiliations.
Ah, shit. Here we go again.
CJ was around 19 when he began to test the waters and record music. In fact, some of his earliest efforts are even still alive on his SoundCloud profile today. Tracks like On Me, Slept On, Letter to the Law, and Shooters, all pretty basic, generic New York street rap with references to busting guns, hustling for money, or just being an underrated rapper in these streets. I'd give it A for effort, but an F for originality. But thankfully, CJ was getting support for his music from the very start, because it would turn out that his uncle is a guy named James Cruz, a rap game industry player who had an illustrious career, starting around working in marketing for Reebok in the 96 and 97 Allen Iverson campaigns. Cruz eventually landed top jobs at Bad Boy Records and Violator, where he worked closely alongside Chris Lighty, who played an instrumental role in the rise of 50 Cent. Though for the record, these days, Fofty ain't really messing with Cruz like that. And eventually, he found himself working so closely under Diddy, 50 Cent would even speculate there was something kinky going on, as Cruz ended up heading up the business end of P. Diddy's empire, doing a 9-year stint there before leaving to start up his own Latin-focused marketing company. And hey, what better Latin product is there to market than your own nephew? So it would turn out that Big Unc's James Cruz was the perfect Kickstarter for a young Latin rapper looking to make his way in the game. So right from the start, CJ was paired up with a young, poppin' producer by the name of Busy Banco, the same producer who, funnily enough, went on to produce the track Mood Swings for Pop Smoke. Banco, ironically, ended up producing an early track for CJ called Pop, and you'll never guess who an unknown CJ managed to get to be his very first feature in the rap game. Oh, only a furry little Latin heartthrob by the name of 6ix9ine. Yes, as a complete unknown, CJ managed to land one of Pop Smoke's producers and a rainbow-haired clout package back in 2018 when a 6ix9ine verse was actually worth something. Ironically, CJ's song with 6ix9ine didn't actually end up doing many numbers, and he's since taken it off of his YouTube, but it still sits today on his SoundCloud page with a surprisingly low 220,000 spins. So,
hold on. I think, to be honest, he took it off his YouTube or whatever the case was because of the whole situation with 6ix9ine. We already know about that and stuff and what happened with that. So he pretty much didn't want to really associate with himself with that person. But at the end of the day, on SoundCloud, it is what it is, if it's still up on there at least. But like I said, I feel like the reason why he took it off of YouTube, since YouTube definitely gets a lot more attention and stuff that people go to listen to people's music and stuff, as far as like exposing like who they are and stuff and getting their career bigger, because YouTube is more known to show actual visuals and stuff like that to songs and stuff. So I feel like if he would have kept that song up there and people actually seen him in person with that person, then they'll kind of feel some way about it or whatever the case is, because he's brand new and they automatically probably gonna try to associate him with 6ix9ine from the very beginning, which at the time it really ain't happened like that. But like I said, it's a lot of narratives people can spin nowadays, so it's reasons why I feel like he definitely took that off of YouTube for that one specific reason. But it's other stuff behind it, but we don't know for sure. But if it's still on his SoundCloud, who knows? But it is what it is, though. If he was gonna leave it on SoundCloud, then he should have left it on YouTube. But hey,
the 6ix9ine finesse didn't blow up CJ the way that he'd maybe hoped, so he continued grinding and dropping auto-tune heavy pop-style tracks like his song Toast Up. He also had the track Times Like This, which is a pretty dope song. In my opinion, it's probably his best. In fact, I wouldn't be so surprised if he brought this one back for his album. Thing is though, the streets still weren't paying enough attention to our boy CJ, no matter what he did for clout. Hell, he even switched sides on 6ix9ine and dropped a diss song called Exposed after he came out as a rat. In fact, the very last song that CJ dropped before Whoopty came out was a track called Understood, another auto-tune heavy generic New York trap banger, which I don't think is particularly standout, but hell, CJ seems to think otherwise, because it's the only old song from the early stages of his career that is still publicly available on his YouTube channel. In fact, Understood was CJ's first ever proper music video.
yeah, I never listened to none of his old songs. I'm gonna have to go check them out and stuff and get a listen to him because, like I said, I only know him from the Whoopty song, and then the one previous song he just dropped called, I think, Bop or whatever it is. So those are only 2 songs I really know of from him. So I'm definitely have to go check out the other ones because I've seen that some other ones got 1.5 mil from a year ago and stuff. So I'm gonna go check them out though from the previous blow up songs and stuff like that, and see what, like, if he was still that good as he is now type thing. So we're gonna check it out for sure.
Establishing that now beloved trend of all of CJ's music videos being filmed with him basically just standing in front of an expensive car. Nice. Thing is though, if you look at the comments on that Understood music video today, you'll know that something big is on the horizon for CJ. And at the end of July 2020, the track Whoopty drops and changes the game forever. This is the first time that CJ has jumped on a New York drill, UK drill type beat. Bear in mind, the New York drill scene is absolutely popping at this point. This is 5 months after Pop Smoke was tragically killed, and the very same month that his posthumous album Shoot for the Stars, Aim for the Moon dropped and went #1 on Billboard. At this point in time, it felt like hip-hop had an enormous, gaping Pop Smoke-shaped hole in it. And while the likes of Fabio Foreign, Chef G, and 22Gs were filling that hole with reasonable efficiency, CJ's Whoopty was just different. It somehow managed to tick every box on the casual hip-hop fan's wish list. It had the drums of a Pop Smoke song, the melody of a King Von song, because if you didn't know, Whoopty actually uses the very same melody as Von's earlier hit Exposing Me, and at this point in 2020, it was straight up King Von mania. So CJ's coming out with a song that sounds like both King Von and Pop Smoke at the height of their popularities. Now, CJ appears in the music video for Whoopty as Big Body Best would say, a Latin individual who happens to be wearing a blood bandana around his neck. So now you've ticked the 6ix9ine box too. But then, the true finesse came in the lyrics of Whoopty. Because for 3 whole years, CJ had been struggling to stand out from the crowd with his unoriginal lyrics and tired style. However, when you combine the imagery of King Von, Pop Smoke, and 6ix9ine all into one person, it kind of stops mattering what you say. The lyrics to Whoopty are incredibly generic. Unlike a lot of other gang-focused New York drill, I mean, some of these songs are so steeped in confusing gang lingo, you need a Crip interpreter just to understand what half of Pop Smoke's talking about. On Whoopty, however, it's incredibly easy to follow what CJ's talking about. He's addicted to blue cheese. We all love cheese. He's about his paper like loose leaf. I like making notes too. And you know he's about that chicken like a 2-piece. I mean, if it was really about his chicken, he would have ordered a 20-nugget share box, but that's besides the point. But as well as the lyrics, the music video for Whoopty plays out like a game of hip-hop spot the cliche. Ooh, Lambo, 1 point. Blood rag, 2 points. Ooh, bunch of people making gang signs to the camera. I think I just got blood bingo. But of course, the entire song is wrapped up in that one catchy one-liner, Whoopty. It's the perfect catchphrase. It's a greeting. It's something fun to just shout out to your homie.
I ain't gonna lie, when I first heard it from TikTok, I didn't really still jump on to listen to the song in full and stuff, because, I don't know, it's just sometimes when I see stuff blow up on social media, I don't really go crazy and like, oh yeah, I gotta go find this original full song and stuff like that. Like, nah, I'll just be chilling. Then at the time go by, then I'll mess around and finally go ahead, listen to the full song, give it a listen and stuff, and then if I fuck with it, then I'll add it to my playlist or whatever the case is and go from there. But I ain't gonna lie, I mess with the song though. It's definitely decent. I can't lie. But for TikTok definitely I feel like blew that song up to bigger numbers than it probably would have had if TikTok wasn't around and stuff. And it's okay to say that. It's not a knock on him. It's just goes to show that social media plays a big role in a lot of these artists getting put on and being in the situations that they are in at the current time right now. Because on social media, you got challenges being made to these people's songs. You basically get exposure to a lot more listeners that you probably wasn't reaching before TikTok or whatever social media platform your song blew up off of. And then on top of that, you got people really genuinely messing with your music and stuff, because obviously they making skits and all type of stuff to your song and stuff and using it in their videos and going crazy and having fun. So it's a lot of pros in your songs being used on social medias and going crazy for challenges and all type of stuff that people be doing on there. So social media, like I said, definitely plays a big role and helps artists out, and sometimes definitely push certain songs or projects to bigger numbers if they had it like basically before it would basically get exposure on social medias and stuff like that. So that's how I feel. So make it more simpler. All I'm saying is pretty much the social media help make certain stuff bigger than it probably would have if it didn't go crazy on social media, is what I'm saying. So if you know what I'm saying, then you know what I'm saying. But yeah, man, that's how I feel about it. That song was decent. It was real catchy too as well. So I see why a lot of people rock with it to this day.
Which turns out is the perfect recipe for a hit drill song. So all of these elements worked together and created a perfect storm for CJ, taking him and Whoopty straight to the top. The track racked up millions of views within a month, and its success was massively boosted by TikTok, where it racked up millions of spins as a result of its viral cringe. Dance. But as well as the TikTok youngers, the old heads had their bases covered too, with Whoopty getting a big push on radio and from DJs, all thanks to Big Unc's James Cruz pulling some strings and duly bragging about it on Instagram afterwards. So before you know it, Whoopty has become a juggernaut in the underground drill scene. The track is doing numbers in the streets, the song is racking up millions of views, and so in an effort to protect his investment, on October the 21st, CJ files a trademark application for the phrase Whoopty. If you ever needed a surer sign that CJ owns and operates the Whoopty, there it is. But at a certain point, some people in the rap game take a step back and say, hang on, what is this Whoopty you speak of? What does it mean? Where does it come from? And you know what? It reminds me an awful lot of a little old catchphrase.
If you want YouTube growth, it's important to use a strategy that works.
And I ain't gonna lie, I ain't even know what Whoopty was at the time when I was hearing the word being used. I thought it was just something that he came up with and pretty much made it a big thing and stuff like that, made it popular. But I seen, like I said, videos that was pretty much trying to expose him for what he's doing. And some of those videos was talking about where the actual term Whoopty came from that he made a song about. And from what I seen, it was basically said that Bloods already made this term a while ago, like back in the 80s or something crazy like that. So pretty much that's what also got actual Bloods pretty much at his head at the end of the day over that word, because he pretty much trying to take credit for saying that he made it and made it popular and stuff, when it wasn't the case, that that word already existed among Bloods, original Bloods from the 80s and stuff like that, and people who actually is messing with the Bloods and tied in with them. So I don't know, like I said, I don't know what's facts and false, but if a lot of Bloods is saying that the word been around and stuff, then I'm probably believe it, just because, like I said, I never heard of CJ at all before until this song came out and was big on TikTok and stuff. But at the end of the day, it is what it is, but he's definitely got to move carefully no matter what. Even if he feel like he ain't in the wrong about anything and stuff, people nowadays just don't care. As long as they know they at your head, that's all that matters to them, and they will stop at nothing to get to them at the end of the day. So like I said, if he feel like he's not in the wrong about anything, he still got to move carefully and make sure he watches back and stuff and the people around him at the end of the day, period.
It's called Treyway.
Now, I ain't represented Grove Street in 5 years, but the ballers won't give a shit.
In November, Whoopty continues its meteoric rise to the top. CJ is getting interviewed to break down the song's meaning, where he says that Whoopty was just a greeting that he uses with his friends.
Pretty much Whoopty, like, there's worldwide now, I got babies, saying Whoopty. I got, middle-aged people, older people. Pretty much it's just like a roll call, whenever I see my guys in the street, and, that's how we greet each other. It's like a New York when people say, "You're."
Now, this is technically true. However, before CJ made it famous, the phrase Whoopty was a greeting used amongst a specific group of people. According to the feds, the phrase Whoopty is a greeting of choice for the New York blood set, the Bloodhound Brims. Yes, people, just like 6ix9ine's Treyway and Pop Smoke's Whoa, Whoopty is yet another viral greeting used by the Blood Gang. The rate at which these guys write viral catchphrases is crazy. At a certain point, they should just give up gangbanging and go full-time writing radio jingles.
If you want your ops blown away today, then you best call 555 Treyway!
Anyway, the Whoopty guys are a different set of Bloods to the Treyway guys. So the Whoopties, or Bloodhound Brims, descend from the Brim set of the Bloods. And using a little unverified Reddit detective work, it seems to suggest there's a few different street crews that are associated with the Bloodhound Brims, including but not limited to Whoopty, the Jets, G5, and the Hounds. Guess Mr. Burns was gang.
Smithers, release the hounds.
So, the Brim Bloods are sometimes referred to as hats. And with that in mind, we can begin to spot a few coded gang references in the track Whoopty. One specific line where he says that he's posted with the hats and the sleazies. The hats, of course, refer to the Brims, and it seems that the reference to the sleazies has something to do with a crew associated with fellow red-rockin' New York scream rapper Sos Moolah, who himself has been connected to the Mac Baller family Bloods. So if you know what you're looking for, CJ is definitely throwing up his flag on Whoopty. But you know what? Gangbanging on songs isn't anything new for CJ. In fact, he actually learned from the best. As that track Pop with 6ix9ine from all the way back in 2018 also had gang references in it, with CJ saying that he was the Billies, meaning the Treyway Bloods, and the Hats, meaning the Whoopty Brims all the way back then. So, CJ sure wants us to know that he hangs out with the Bloods. But the question is, just how tough are these hats that CJ keeps on speaking of? Well, the New York Post in 2014 referred to the Mac Baller Brims as the most dangerous gang in New York. It outlines their territory in the Bronx, with their influence spreading all the way across the city from Brooklyn, New Jersey, and even CJ's native Staten Island. The crew's heritage dates all the way back to the original LA Bloods, who referred to themselves as the LA Hat Gang, later becoming the 5'9 Brims for their turf in 59th Street, with the East Coast set of the 5'9 Brims popping up in the early 90s in the cells of Rikers Island Prison, spearheaded by incarcerated Blood pioneer Omar Porti, aka OG Mac, who ended up playing a pivotal role in setting up numerous New York Blood sets, including the New York Brims. This led to the Mac Baller Brims as they're known today, the name being a reference to the original founder OG Mac, and according to the New York Post, this is one of 4 Brim sets that make the New York Blood Brim Army. And according to that article, this gang...
So if it's true that he really got these people out of his head, man, it ain't looking too good, man. It's a lot of people from different blood sets that's really, really heated over this. So he definitely got to watch his back as far as where he's at, especially in his home city and stuff like that, man. Because a lot of those gangs definitely don't play in New York for sure. That's mostly anywhere anyway. So at the end of the day, that's still a big amount of blood sets. If they all got problems with him, then yeah, he definitely got to make sure he being smart and moving smart, because all it takes is one mistake and it's over with. And the crazy thing is, once you got all these different people at your head, police ain't gonna never be able to say for sure which group was involved and who exactly it was that was involved, unless they have eyewitnesses and evidence leading back to that person. So, like I said, man, that's definitely gonna make this tough on him for sure. But yeah, what I've been seeing lately, he ain't really showing like no serious crazy attention to it and stuff, like making posts about it, making lives and stuff about it, and speaking on actual people and stuff like that. So it is what it is. And two, that could be a sign of maybe he knows that he is in the wrong and stuff, so he ain't gonna go overboard and start talking shit about those people that's really at him for this term at the end of the day. So it's crazy at the end of the day how this whole situation basically unfolding. But as long as he, like I said, stay smart and stuff, he should be alright. But at the end of the day, that's a lot of different sets. So it is what it is.
Are responsible for numerous shootouts in New York, which have even left innocent bystanders killed. But don't get it twisted, these guys are known for way more crazy crimes than just shootouts. They previously caught headlines for an insane incident where they had kidnapped the father of a North Carolina prosecutor, an attack ordered by a Brim who was behind bars as retaliation for the sentence that he was given.
Kevin Melton was convicted by a federal jury of devising a kidnapping plot in 2014 aimed at Wake County Assistant DA Colleen Jansen, who had put him in this jail. The 51-year-old was accused of using a cell phone from jail to orchestrate the crime, but the kidnappers went to the wrong address and grabbed Jansen's father, Frank, by mistake. The gang members then took Jansen...
That's crazy. How they go to the wrong address and still ended up getting a person involved with the person that they was originally supposed to kidnap and stuff. So that's crazy. At the end of the day, they still was able to get somebody that basically was related to the person that they were supposed to get. That's super crazy.
from jail to orchestrate the crime. But the kidnappers went to the wrong address and grabbed Jansen's father, Frank, by mistake. The gang members then took Jansen to Atlanta, where he was held and tortured over a 5-day period.
Crazy. But it gets...
Took him all the way to Atlanta and literally tortured him for 5 days. Just goes to show you how crazy people is nowadays. But that's definitely crazy at the end of the day, how even though they went to the wrong address, they still got somebody that was related to that person at the end of the day, and went extreme routes to pretty much show how mad they were that this person got arrested and literally got put in jail. So now that he got caught and found out about setting that whole thing up, now instead of whatever the sentence he got, now he got a life sentence. But yeah, they definitely don't play, especially when you go after somebody that's working with the law, period. They always gonna try to give you the max, if anything, especially if something like this situation where you kidnap somebody and torture them, they definitely going after you for the max, period.
Works. Apparently, to join the Brims, you need to do an initiation. This could be as simple as getting jumped in, or it could be as serious as being forced to commit murder. In fact, there was even an incident where a 14-year-old boy was sent to do a drilling as part of an initiation, but he ended up getting caught and shot dead by the cops.
Everyone in this neighborhood is talking about what happened to an alleged teen gunman. Police say they had no choice but to shoot him after he refused to drop his gun. They say around 3 a.m. Sunday, 2 rookie cops heard gunshots near East 151st Street and Cortlandt Avenue and saw him running after someone with a gun in his hand. When they confronted him, police say he did not put down the weapon.
Meanwhile, in the more modern day, leaders of the Bloodhound Brims have been handed heavy sentences in recent years. A big indictment was dropped by the feds in 2016 that accused the 9-4 crew of the Bloodhound Brims of being involved in around 40 acts of violence and 4 murders. Feds said that they turned the neighborhood into a war zone, and it was this specific group that was distinctive for greeting each other with that catchphrase, Whoopty. Hey, you know you got a catchy slogan when even the feds are catching on. Anyway, this case didn't end well for the Bloodhound Brims. They've been pretty much caught red-handed doing a lot of serious dirt in the streets. Hell, there was even one example where the feds had claimed that one of the Brims had actually shot up a fried chicken spot with an AK-47 assault rifle. Forget about fake 6ix9ine talking about upping the chops at the chicken shops. These guys were actually catching the ops at the chicken shop and upping the chop. Eventually, the leader of the Bloodhound Brims, La Brim, aka Breezy, aka Boss Dog, was convicted and sentenced to 30 years in jail in 2019. Today, La Brim is doing 30 years behind his affiliation with the Whoopty crew. This guy is the realest Whoopty blood that there is. Thing is, there's only one problem. He says he's never heard of CJ.
CJ made a hot song, but the content that he used is not his content. So his foundation is based off of Live.
Yeah, man. So if you got one of the actual original people literally recorded in live footage on the phone call talking about you and saying that you a fake, then I mean it's legit. Then he pretty much got big off of falsifying information, basically saying he came up with the term, and that's how him and his guys greet each other and stuff, when the whole time that word existed way before they probably was even a group or whatever you want to call it. So if they saying CJ fake, then it means probably the people that's in the videos is fake as well that's doing the shit too. So hey, it definitely ain't looking too good, man. And this is definitely a lot of solid evidence. I'm seeing this dude put a lot of research together to really make this video, and people that do these types of videos, they get a lot of people to watch them for a reason. It's because a lot of the information they use in their videos, you can go facts check, and that's what keeps all these people watching these types of videos and stuff. That's why I enjoy watching them, because like I said, it ain't nothing like learning new information by watching these videos and stuff. Because say you want to travel somewhere and vacation and stuff, you learn about all these areas and stuff that's basically nothing but violence or got a lot of bad stuff going on that you probably need to avoid. So for y'all that be like traveling around and stuff, and especially going to New York, you gotta know that your areas. You gotta know your areas, because you just never know what could happen, possibly happen and stuff, and you gotta be prepared at the end of the day. So if you a person that know you don't want to go somewhere bad, these the type of videos you watch, period. But other than that, if you want to know about street shit that got to do with a lot of different gangs around the U.S., you gotta watch videos like this too, man. Simple, because you get put on game about a lot of different stuff going on that you didn't know before. But yeah, man, that's just crazy. He basically even got called out, pretty much not even a call out, but got exposed by an original member that knows of the term and been using the term way before he even put it in a song and stuff. So that's just crazy. At the end of the day, man, you can't be out here basically saying you made something but you really didn't at the end of the day. And then on top of that, to get told that you're a fake blood, maybe he might be a real blood, but the evidence is basically saying he's a fake blood. So that's also, like I said, a big hit to a person's career. But at the end of the day, he's still gonna have his fan base. Y'all see how 6ix9ine going. It's just the real people that's in the streets and stuff, and people that's fans of the real, they're not gonna accept this type of activity. At the end of the day, they're not gonna accept you no more just because of the simple fact you're found out to be a fake. Whatever you rapping about is pretty much fake. So that's how I look at it.
Now Whoopty, he don't know nothing about Whoopty. He just seen a fly splash and he jacked it. Now you jacking something that they got dudes in jail for. There's allegations behind that word right there that made it such a splash for you to want to jack it. They gave me 30 years for a lifestyle full of allegations of a lifestyle that you talking about that you never lived.
You picked the wrong house, fool!
Hey, Big Smoke!
CJ. Oh my God, what's up?
It was all good, just...
And like I said, the last thing you want to do is mess up your credibility, man. If you basically messed up your validation and credibility, like as far as the knowledge of the word and being a blood and all type of crazy stuff that you got going on with your music and stuff that you rap about. So now people gonna listen and look at you and know pretty much at the end of the day, we can't believe anything you say in your songs, because now with all these allegations and people saying you a fake, now we gotta believe that you is a fake. Like I said, he's still gonna have his fans that's gonna rock with him like 6ix9ine and stuff, but the real people that's really about the real, they not gonna mess with it and they not gonna be cool with it, period. So you still kind of shoot yourself in the foot now that it's real gang members behind this stuff that called you out about your pretty much your validation in the shit for real. So if they saying he ain't no real blood and stuff and they ain't never heard about you and stuff, then 9 times out of 10 you really ain't no street person, period. At the end of the day, because if you was, you wouldn't have to be out here faking.
A week ago.
After using Tube Karma for literally just 3 months, they helped me go from 15...
In November, Whoopty ended up landing on the Billboard charts. CJ was seen getting a Coke Boys chain from French Montana, sparking rumors that he'd signed with him, and then in January, he signed his very own deal with Warner. And apparently, when CJ was discussing his ambitions going the major label route with the CEO of Warner, he apparently expressed an interest in bringing the drill sound to the mainstream. And ultimately, that's exactly what he did. By the end of January 2021, Whoopty is certified gold. The song is charted in over 20 countries internationally, including Greece, where it goes #1, the UK, where it goes #2, and the United States, where as of recording today, Whoopty is currently sitting at #10 on the Billboard chart. It seemed like CJ used the major label cheat code perfectly, getting his paperwork straight with the label and then going straight to the top. But the thing is, as CJ's star grew, so did the voices of people stepping up to call him a phony. A Pitchfork article came out with the headline, New York drill rapper CJ is nothing but a shameless ripoff, basically saying that his entire career is just a cash grab, and going as far as to say that his track Whoopty is nothing but a karaoke version of a 22G's song. In fact, speaking of which, actual New York driller and very proud Gangster Disciples member 22G's wasn't too impressed by CJ's karaoke efforts either. In fact, 22G's ended up remixing the track Whoopty with his CJ diss Goofy, going at CJ for being a fraud. And saying specifically, I heard he not even Whoopty. Now that remix ironically gets taken down by CJ's team on a copyright basis. Now I'm not sure that's such a wise move. I mean, if this guy said that he wanted to take down one of my videos, I'd probably do it straight away. I'm not trying to get those problems. CJ's clearly a braver blood than I am. Anyway, no matter how industry CJ got, the more and more Whoopty got exposure, the more and more real New York street gangsters were coming out to call CJ a phony. Knuckles Brim came out to drop a diss track called You're Not Hound, calling out CJ for not being a real bloodhound Brim. Fabio Foreign's stunt double and fellow Brim, G5 Reels, came out to tell the world that CJ is not gang.
Everybody tag the CJ nigga, because I want something to attendance. As far as him being him, he's not him.
Yeah, dang, that's crazy at the end of the day, man. It ain't looking too good at the end of the day, but he's still gonna do what he wanna do. As far as the music shit, people still gonna rock with it. Just the real people that's about the real ain't gonna rock with it. And just at the end of the day, gonna have to watch his back, cause even though they doing all this social media stuff, saying, calling them out and stuff, it's really people behind the scenes that's really probably trying to plot on him and get him knocked off. And y'all know what I mean by getting knocked off. It's really people like that don't tolerate nobody faking pretty much anything that represents them, because they're real bloods and they probably feel disrespected, and they probably got people that's behind the scenes that they're trying to get to handle this situation by knocking him off, just to basically teach him and the people around him a lesson at the end of the day. Like, don't be out here fake claiming something y'all really not about or living, because there's really people that died and went to jail over that stuff for real, and people that they know and lost for repping that same exact lifestyle. So if you pretty much faking it and stuff, they pretty much look at it as you making it a joke to them and stuff like that, and you disrespecting them. That's how I pretty much look at it and stuff. Y'all comment down below how y'all feel about the whole situation. But it's only 4 minutes left, so we're gonna get the rest of this going, and that'll be the end of this video. But let's go ahead and finish.
Man, I'ma die for this shit, nigga. You playing with this nigga? I don't play with this nigga.
Yep, see, just like dude right here said, man, he'll die for it and he ain't gonna play about it. So trust and believe. Even though they calling him out on social media and stuff, at the end of the day, it's people behind the scenes that ain't on social media at all probably talking about it, that's really trying to plot on him and knock him off, just because of reasons like this person, reasons like that. That's all they need. That's all they hear, and that's it. Period.
Pounding for real, nigga. I'm jet for real, nigga.
G5 would go on to say La Brim, who we mentioned earlier, is the real Whoopty, serving 30 years behind this.
Gangster, you got my bro up north for 30 years right now, nigga. 30, nigga. For this shit, nigga. You talking about Whoopty, nigga?
And he'd go on to say that the real moment that CJ crossed the line was when he trademarked the phrase Whoopty.
You have to uncopyright that Whoopty shit, nigga.
But G5 Reels also later dropped a helpful bit of wisdom, telling the world that apparently Whoopty did used to be a real blood for a different set called Hit Squad Brim.
You was Hit Squad Brim. You was Hit Squad Brim. Because I don't even know if them niggas embrace you anymore, because you shitting on them too.
This was a sentiment that seemed to also be supported by chatter on Twitter, where some have suggested that at a certain point in time, CJ was indeed plugged in with Hit Squad Brim, another blood set in New York who were known to rep Whoopty. Now, Hit Squad Brim is a blood set that has history dating all the way back to...
Oh, so maybe he was a real blood, but if you go to a certain extent, we done seen many cases where gangs actually put out members just because they felt like that member disrespected the whole gang and they didn't fuck with it, whatever that person did. So they just ultimately disowned them and never claimed them again after that. There's been a lot of people in the past that have been in a situation like this. So if they saying that he used to be about it, but now they saying that they really pretty much don't rock with him no more, then I mean they kind of like kicked him out. But so the way I look at it now, he pretty much just doing his own thing and got the people that's really cool with him still, and they pretty much form their own thing pretty much at the end of the day. I don't know what they call themselves, but we know for sure it's something to definitely do with Bloods, obviously, but we don't know exactly if they got an actual group name like that they came up with to pretty much make their own set at the end of the day. But yeah, man, situations like this that definitely happened before.
96, but I couldn't really find too much specific info about the modern day stuff that's going on with it, and I certainly couldn't find any more evidence for CJ having been affiliated other than the references in his songs. But you know what? Maybe that's the point. Beyond simply shouting Whoopty and that he's chilling with the hats and the brims, the gang references in CJ's music are intentionally vague. CJ's made it hard for you to work out what gang he's supposedly throwing up, and I would wager that he's made that hard for you on purpose. Who knows, maybe CJ really was a hit squad hitter back in the day, with hella bodies under his belt, and he's just been good at getting into the industry and covering his tracks. But the most reasonable explanation is probably that CJ just took a play out of 6ix9ine's book and fluffed up what little gang affiliations that he had to try and get some rap gang clout. Which I guess brings us to one of the oldest unanswered questions in hip-hop history. If CJ isn't a real gangster, does that really matter?
Overpaying for options isn't an option. Pressure is for tired.
You are not Whoopty. My uncle said he could get me on 6ix9ine's feature. Now that's how you get me. Treyway shit. What am I going to do if the real Whoopties come for me? 22 G's not real. 22 G's
You funny as hell for these edits.
It's Treyway. Look, to me, it doesn't really matter if CJ's a fraud. Rick Ross has been claiming to be the biggest drug kingpin in Miami for over a decade. But we know that deep down he's nothing more than an ex-prison guard with a delectable taste for lemon pepper wings. None of Rick Ross's lies about the past matter because he's given us 10 years of fire music. CJ's track Whoopty became a hit.
Which is true, man. Rick Ross, pretty much, they said he was a fake and stuff, and you see where he at right now. People still respect him and hang with him because he's still doing business with a lot of big celebrities and other music mongols and stuff like that. So at the end of the day, he's getting respected, but for different reasons and stuff. But as far as CJ, I ain't really seen him as far as interacting with other rappers in the industry, let alone do business with them and stuff. So we're gonna have to see pretty much how that turns out, and that'll let us know if people really think he really is a street person, just doing his own thing, like dude said, and made it whatever connections he got come with him, and they do their own thing together and go from there. But as far as the major blood sets that's in New York that he pretty much was up under at one point in time, they pretty much not claiming no more rocking with him anymore at the end of this situation. And they really want him to drop the copyright on the word and stuff, because if he don't, then they just gonna continue to be at his head, and I'm pretty sure he not gonna drop the copyright on that word. Simple. So it is what it is, though. Whether he is a fraud or not, like dude said, I don't think that matters, because he already got the fan base going crazy. He already went famous on TikTok and other social media platforms and stuff. So he's always going to have fans regardless whether people like it or not, and he's going to continue to be able to make music and stuff and do what he want to do. So the only way y'all going to stop him is pretty much like how everybody trying to do 6ix9ine, get him knocked off. That's the only way y'all going to stop those two at the end of the day, whether they frauds, all the stuff you can call them and stuff. It ain't going to matter, man, until something actually happens to him. But other than that, that's pretty much the end of this video. Y'all comment down below how y'all feel about this whole situation and stuff. And yeah, other than that, also tell your friends and family about us, and don't forget to leave a like and comment on the video and subscribe if y'all haven't already. And that's the end of this video. Peace.